It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Ava's record. 202 and 36, I think, some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting in the east stands. The whites were sitting in the west stands. And the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Aves' record. 202 and 36, I think. Some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting in the east stands. Whites were sitting in the west stands. And the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Aves' record. 202 and 36, I think. Some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting in the east stands. Whites were sitting in the west stands. And the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
I'm attorney Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
True Black Essentials is a retail opportunity to bring Black businesses under one roof where every product on every shelf in every aisle will be Black owned and Black produced by people all over the world. Statistics show that the $1.3 trillion of spending power that we have as Black people can easily be turned into each Black person having $2 million if we were to shop Black for 2 years. So True Black Essentials will launch an e-commerce store on November 1st, 2020, but we will open up brick and mortar stores in Atlanta, New Orleans, Charlotte, Houston, and Jacksonville, with the very first store opening in Atlanta, June 19, 2021.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BCSN's Black College Baseball Media Roundup. We're going to start off with Mr. Michael Coker of Black College Nines giving us an introduction on today's events.
Hello, everyone. This is Michael Coker with
Mike, you're good to go, sir.
Hello, this is Michael Coker with Black College Nines. How are you guys doing? This is our National Media Roundup. Black College Nines, if you're not aware of, we cover historically Black college and university baseball. We preserve the legacy of historic. You can't hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Michael, go ahead. We hear you.
Okay, I have to start over. Okay. This is Michael Coker. I'm with Black College Nines. If you're not aware, you will be aware that we cover historically Black college and university baseball. We're preserving the legacy of historically Black colleges and university. Guys, there's confusion.
We'll do this. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a second.
It was a monumental game for A&M and Tampa. It was a monumental game. Somebody had to lose, and thank God it was them this time.
We knew it was going to be a battle. Look at Jake Ave's record. 202 and 36, I think. Some off-the-wall figures.
And nobody would play him because they didn't want to take a chance of getting beat. But the truth of it is,
over 46,000 tickets. Blacks were sitting in the east stands. The whites were sitting in the west stands. And the score wound up 34-28.
The only thing we proved that we wasn't inferior, that we were not inferior, and we were not afraid.
For one night, for 160 minutes, we was better than them.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Not aware of, we cover historically black colleges and universities baseball, HBCUs as we refer to it, HBCU baseball. We reserve the right, we preserve the legacy of historically black colleges and universities for baseball. Our baseball coverage includes every major Division I, Division II, and those independents and NAIA programs who field a team. We provide coverage for every baseball program throughout the nation. Black College Nines, we take pride in restoring our baseball programs because back in the day, HBCUs was the main source of providing baseball players to Major League Baseball, and the many legacies and the many stories that HBCU baseball provides. Today, we're going to provide you with our top 10 poll. Our top 10 poll, we have more than 30 to 35, 40 writers who vote in our top 10 polls. Our top 10 polls covers the large schools, which is the Division I programs, and then the small schools, which consist of programs in the division, NCAA Division II, independent, NAIA independents, and those small school colleges. We take pride in providing all things HBCU. We take pride in providing you all things that these head coaches and the many things they do to provide their programs. That includes our podcast series. Our podcast is strictly for our coaches so that the ones who watch, who read, who take in our content, they listen in to understand what the coaches is doing and how they're building their programs. But today, this media is set up with, we're doing our top 10 small school polls for Media Day. And I would like to start off with our number 10 ranked team. Our voters, which consist of media members across the country, who are not just media members, but administrators, former ball players, head coaches, and those that have a love for the game from HBCUs who vote not just our preseason poll, but our top 10 poll. And our top 10 poll coming into the season for HBCU baseball, at number 10, it is those Edward Waters College Tigers out of Jacksonville, Florida. They are coached by Reginald Johnson. Reginald Johnson is into his 10th season. Reggie has done not just for the baseball program, But Reggie has turned that program around academically as to where his players are ranked every year in the academic sector of college, I should say collegiate sports. Edward Waters is in a unique situation. Their first 14 games this year is against teams ranked in the NAIA top 25, teams ranked in the HBCU top 10, and a ranked team, which they just played this weekend, that's in the small school colleges of the NAIA. And they're starting to play good ball because of the way they were scheduled. At number 10, the Edward Waters Tigers College. Coming in at number 9 is the Florida Memorial University Lions. The Florida Memorial Lions are on Miami Gardens, Florida. They're in a hotbed of talent in the state of Florida. They play in an area that is warm year-round. You might get 3 weeks of cold weather. Not in Miami. They're coached by Tito Burgos. He is the 2018 Small Schools HBCU Coach of the Year. Tito has taken Florida Memorial into new heights as to where in 2018 they made a national ranking. They received votes in the NAIA. Alongside, besides being Coach of the Year, he has a Major League Baseball, his pitching coach is Alphonse, who has won not only an All-Star, but he was in the running for Pitcher of the Year awards for Major League Baseball. At number 9 is Florida Memorial. Number 8 in our top 10 poll for the small schools is Savannah State University out of Savannah State, Georgia. Carlton Hardy is the head coach. Carlton, who just left a Division I. He's a true Division I coach. Carlton Hardy, when they left the MEAC and they joined the SIAC, his entire coaching career is at the Division I level. So he's bringing that Division I level to a Division II program, which is going to do wonders. His recruiting is second to none, and he's an academic disciplinarian. That is number 8, Savannah State University. Number 7 in our top 10 poll is Miles College out of Fairfield, Alabama. They are coached by Ty Roberts. Ty Roberts, since his hire 5 years ago, has turned that program around. They are currently receiving votes in the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association, the Southern Division. That also happened the last 2 years. Since his arrival, they have gone to the conference championship. They have also went to the NCAA Division II regional. Every year they're finishing up above 500, which includes the 2020 season, which was canceled because of the pandemic, where they were a 500 club when baseball was canceled. Ty Roberts recruits heavily in Alabama, and he's getting the top players, not just in Alabama, but just in the surrounding states. That number 7 is Miles College. Coming in our top 10 poll, number 6 is Bluefield State College. Bluefield, which they call themselves Big Blue. They're out of West Virginia, Bluefield, West Virginia. They're in a unique situation because they haven't had a home game in 3 years. They renovated their stadium. Now that their stadium is ready, and it's a beautiful stadium from what I've been told, now they officially have home games. Last season, at the end of the season, I should say in 2019, they finished ranked in Black College 9's final poll. They also finished ranked in 2020 in our final poll. Bluefield State has turned it around, but their new head coach, Drew Bailey, this is his first year. He has inherited a team that is returning everybody. He's got some top arms that are throwing in the mid-90s. At number 6 is Bluefield State. Our number 5.
Well, Michael?
Right. Yes.
I know we were going to hold off on that for just a second. We actually, you're going to do the second 5, the top 5 here in a second. We actually do have Coach Reginald Johnson of your number 10 ranked. Your number 10 ranked Edward Waters Tigers. Coach, I'm sorry about that. We do, I'm gonna get that name out there. We spent a little time down there in Jacksonville. So,
hey, man,
Michael,
no problem at all.
So, Michael, we'll give you an opportunity to talk to Coach a little bit. If you'd like, ask him some questions about the program, and let's go from there, guys.
Coach Reginald Johnson, how are you?
Hey, my man, I'm doing well. I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, Coach, I need to get into the swing of things here. And you're ranked number 10 in our top 10 poll. Every year, you've turned Edward Waters into a powerhouse. I know that you're rebuilding the program. As always, these things happen every 4 years. But Reggie, you took on a schedule this year that kind of reminds me of what other teams have done, HBCU teams, especially Bethune under Milva Melendez, and he did the same at Alabama State. Your first 14 games are against teams that are ranked in either the NAIA top 25, HBCU top 10, and the small school colleges. And now it's starting to show because you're playing good ball. You went into that series against a ranked team this weekend, and you played good baseball. You want to talk about that?
Well, again, it's one of those situations to where, going into every year, we want to win a national championship, and to play for a national championship, we got to play those teams. So I definitely don't want to shy away from that. The way we prepare with our guys, with the strength and conditioning side, with the preparation and practice, we have that expectations of competing for a national championship, and why wait until the conference? Why wait until to the conference tournament or a regional, or the World Series to see them for the first time? With us right now being independent, and not having a full conference schedule, the first half of the year gives us that opportunity to play some of those top ranked teams before they get in the conference. So it's a great indication to show where we're at and what we need to work on. And as you said, we're playing some good ball, some good competitors, and we're seeing those things where we're falling short a little bit, and we're working, and it always pays off towards the end, and we look for that to be the same thing coming true here shortly.
With that being said, this week in your midweek game, you're playing against the number 1 ranked team in the NAIA, Southeastern University. How do you see that game? Do you think you can knock off that top ranked team? Because you're playing good ball now.
I mean, of course. I go into every game expecting to win, baby. I go into every game. We're preparing. I mean, we're out here at the field right now, getting some work in, getting some cage work in, fine tuning a few little things, and that's why we put the uniform on. We go into, again, that's just going to be a great indication and we're going to have to go through them anyways. So why shy away from it? Let's go. And the guys are bought into the situation and bought into why we do things the way we do them, and we're gonna go. We're gonna play. We're gonna have fun doing it.
That's what matters, because if Edward Waters, you played the number 15 ranked Kaiser. Mm-hmm. You just finished the ranked team. You played another ranked team, Florida Memorial, this past the other weekend. You have the number 1 ranked team, and then you still have a 6-game series against the number 3 ranked team, which is Georgia Gwinnett. Yeah. And I know that you guys want to trip Georgia Gwinnett up before the conference tournament. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we'll have a 3-game set with Georgia Gwinnett. But yeah, again, it's an opportunity, and again, it's for the preparation of where we're at, and also just for the mentality of to be the best, you got to play the best, got to beat the best, as well as going in, us putting our team in the best situation. We're gonna have to go through Georgia Gwinnett in the conference and the AII, the independent conference. So why wait till the conference tournament to do so? It gives us an opportunity to get a look at them, gives them an opportunity to get a look at us, and it allows us to see where we stack up. And we stack up pretty well. And again, going into every single game, the expectation to win and to play well and have fun doing it.
Michael, at this time, we have a question from AD Drew with the Black College Sports Network. Drew?
Johnson, how you doing this morning?
My man, I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing great. It's a little bit chilly, but I'm doing great otherwise, man.
Well, down here in Florida, it's roughly about 65-ish, and it feels nice. A little wet, but it still feels nice. We're all right.
Yeah. Obviously, y'all stay just to the south of the big cold streak that's going through the country right now. But
yes, sir.
But Coach, obviously, we know last year's season was cut short for everyone because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
How important is it for you and for your guys to follow the protocols and have as few stoppages as possible with this particular baseball season, Coach? Considering that they were some of the first ones who lost a season due to the pandemic.
Well, it's very important, and obviously as baseball is very important to us, the thing here at Edward Waters and my thought process in the program and the institution as well is the health and the well-being of every student athlete. First and foremost, here for an education, we want to get that first, and we want to make sure everybody stays healthy so they can stay to get their education and then play. Our administration has done a wonderful job and to giving us the things in which has been needed to give us these opportunities. We have our protocols in check, and we have everything in place to where there's a location where the guys go get tested multiple times a week. And that's a lot of self-awareness and a lot of conversations amongst the coaching staff, the administration, the training staff, stay away from large gatherings, do everything we can. Because again, some of the seniors decided to come back, but some decided to go ahead and graduate and start their lives, and they got cut short of season, and we don't want that to happen again. So it's very, very important. First and foremost, the health of everyone is most important. And it's just the institution has done an amazing job with giving us the things we need, the sanitation, just all the resources, everything in which that's going to help us, go as long as we can possibly go. And I'm a very optimistic individual. I'm confident that we're going to continue to do well since we've been back. The guys saw how important it was to take it serious, and we had a few stoppages in the fall, and we missed the game. So they're doing everything they possibly can. Knock on some wood. We're gonna continue to do what we need to do, and look to have a great season.
Well, of course, in college baseball, we use aluminum bats, not wood bats anymore. But just a quick follow-up on that, Coach. You said some of you guys from last year decided to go ahead and graduate and not return. Any indication from this year's current seniors who's going to take advantage of that another year of eligibility that they've been granted by the NAIA?
We've had some of those conversations with a few of these guys, and the guys in which that came back for this year, obviously they're deciding to go ahead. This is going to be it for them. And there's a few other guys, the institution again has, given the opportunities for seek different degrees and things of that sort. And it's in those conversations, and it's one of those things to where in the recruiting process, we bring in guys in, the education is first and foremost, and it's most important. And the guys that decided to go on, the institution has done a great job putting them in positions to line themselves up, after graduation. And every single person that went on, we're either going into the police academy or going into the military or starting jobs, that was difficult to pass up on. And a lot of our seniors now, with the internships in which they've had, have those same opportunities. So it's kind of one of those real life decisions to make. But as of now, we are in those conversations, and, it's 50-50 right now.
All right. Well, Coach Johnson, we really want to thank you for taking your time to join us for today's conversation. We look forward to seeing you the next time. And good luck to you and the Tigers up there in Jacksonville as our number 9 coach, Coach Tino Burgos, has just joined us with our number 9 team, who's also in Florida, but he's a little further south. So, Coach Johnson, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
I appreciate everything. Thank you very much.
Hello, Tito.
Hey, how you doing, Michael?
How are you, Coach?
Good. I'm good. Yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm down here with you in South Florida. I'm a little bit north of you, but it's nice and toasty, as well as where you are in Miami Gardens.
Oh yeah, we got good weather today, brother. Good weather today.
Well, Coach, your team is ranked number 9 in our HBCU small school top 10 poll. You're coming into the season ranked number 9, but you and I had a conversation 2 years ago, and you said to me that you're going to take that time and go out and recruit heavily in pitching. And you also went and signed a former Major League Baseball player to be your assistant coach. And now we're getting word that your pitchers, the guys that you have recruited, is being watched at the national level as well as Major League Baseball level. Now, I say Major League Baseball for a reason, because at HBCU baseball in the small schools division, there has never been this sort of talk as to where that Florida Memorial is receiving at the national level. Now, Tito, you and I have had many conversations. You have a good team, but you play in the top-ranked conference, the Sun Conference, in the nation. How will this transpire Florida Memorial baseball?
Well, number one, the pitching has been great, and it's awesome to get the recognition for these young men that they deserve. Antonio's a big part of it, former major leaguer, did it at a high level. So, he's been able to get guys to buy into his philosophy, attack the strike zone, things like that. And we've been able to, have some success. Even though it's been early in the year, we've had a little bit of ups and downs early in the year. Overall, the pitching will be strong. And we need it to be strong, because going into the conference with the Southeastern, St. Thomas, the Kaisers, wherever, Warner, you name it, everybody can play a little bit. And the biggest difference is going to be on the mound, I believe. Offensively, I think we'll be fine. It's just, you need quality pitching, and good pitching usually beats good hitting. And that's where we're at right now. The conference obviously prepares us to play anybody outside of the conference, but our conference is as tough as any conference in the country.
Your conference has the defending national champion. They're currently ranked number 1 in the nation. You have the number 4 ranked team. You have the number 14th ranked team, the number 15th. And if I keep going and going and going, and then you also have Warner, who is ranked not only in they're at that tip of receiving votes, they're also ranked in the small school college. So the Sun Conference is a known conference. It is one of the toughest. It is one of the harshest to go in and win. You have Kaiser coming up soon. You play in a home-and-home series against these baseball programs. How do you see Florida Memorial, considering they have you finish? I think they have you ranked to finish 6th in the conference. Right. I'm seeing like the 2018 season, where you guys came out of nowhere. This one, I think you're in a better situation. You're better scheduled to find yourselves, and you're sitting at 3-3 right now.
Correct.
There's only one game that I saw that it could have gone any other way. Coach, how do you see the 2021 season?
I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be strong. I've got a really competitive group. They work hard. They're coming out. They bought into the system. It took a couple years to turn the program around, kind of get it, where it's my guys and my system. But I think we should be as good as that 2018-19 team. Now, that's a special team in my heart. They kind of launched the trajectory for us. But this group here, overall, more depth on the mound, more depth, on the bench. Might be a little better offensively outside of Sergio Chill 2 years ago. I think we'll be right back in the thick of things. Again, I'd be really disappointed if we don't finish within the top 6. But I also wouldn't be surprised if we finish in the top 3. I really think I got a good ball club, And as long as we continue to play, play hard, play right, limit the mistakes, not get picked off at first base, some timely hitting, throughout hitting, we're going to be right there with just about anybody in our conference. Our conference, any given day, they can come out and beat you. And so can we. And so I feel confident going into every game.
Coach Tino, we have a question from AD Drew.
Hey, AD.
All right. Sorry, I was muted there. I had to wait on the host to unmute me there. Hey, Coach Tino, how you doing today once again?
Good, AD. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. You had a tough series this week against USC Buford, a team that's not one of those teams that Michael was talking about, but still a very competitive team in a very ultra-competitive conference. Anything that you could take away? You lost a series 2-1. Very, very competitive games, especially game 3 of the series, which is essentially a pitcher's duel, and came down to essentially an error, which wound up costing you guys. Anything that you could take away from that series this weekend to build towards the rest of the season?
Yeah, my team realized that we have to play the game. And like you said, UC Buford, they weren't picked to be the top team in the conference or top 3, but they're a highly competitive team. And as long as I've been in this conference, they've been a very good ball club. And so they gave us a battle, and their pitching did a great job, and they finished on top. And what I take away from this is we got to play to the last pitch. We got to play cleaner defense, and we need some more timely hitting. Did I lose you? Hello?
In case you didn't know, Coach is also the 2018 Small School HBC Baseball Coach of the Year. That was an honor bestowed upon him because he took the team and he brought it to new heights. They set some historical values, and it's led to recruiting. How are we recruiting out of the state of Florida? Considering you're getting the top talents out of Miami, you're doing better than a lot of those Division I programs.
Yeah, I've been very blessed. Obviously, we're in a great spot for recruiting, a great spot for baseball. Obviously, I coached 13 years of high school baseball, so a lot of those relationships that I've developed through the high school years are helping me and benefiting me now. I'm able to call coaches directly. I have certain access to certain players just a little sooner than others, and it's helped me with recruiting tremendously. Also, obviously, being able to brand FMU as a place that you can come play baseball at a high level, competitive conference, and possibly put yourself in a position to not only graduate, which is the most important thing, but to play, hopefully play for some championships and maybe possibly continue your career as a baseball player, And so recruiting is everything. And now that we're able to get some of these top tier guys to stay home versus leaving, you should continue to see progression in my baseball career.
Are you looking to schedule any other top non-conference teams, considering you got 5 in your own conference?
Well, we got Georgia Gwinnett this year. They reached out and put us on a schedule. I tried to get to LSU Shreveport. They shut that down because of COVID concerns. And so I'm willing to play everybody, Michael. I want to play all the HBCUs, large schools, small schools. Anybody who's willing to come play, or we'll go to them to play. We have a goal here is to be the best HBCU team in the country, regardless of division. And then obviously be one of the top national teams in the country. And I'm going to push for that, and we'll continue to strive for that. And, whether it's Savannah State, Tuskegee, Alabama A&M, whoever, Alabama State, or even the smaller schools in Lane and those guys, we want to play. We're going up to Voorhees this year, and I thank Coach for giving us the opportunity to play. But again, like I said, it's anybody who's willing to play. It's hard to get some games down here in Miami sometimes, especially teams that are in the tougher conferences. But eventually we'll get there, and steadily we'll be there.
Coach, this is Roy Evans. I wanted to ask you, do you have anything that you would just like to say to the HBCU diaspora or the FMU fans that are out there?
Yes, thank you for your support. Since I've been here taking a job, it's noticeable. Thank you for all the HBCUs, magazines and websites and all of those that support us and back us and believe in, Florida Memorial Baseball as one of the better HBCU teams in the country. And I would say to you guys, continue to follow us because you're going to see some good things happening here. And as long as I'm coaching here, we're going to push to be the best. And as long as we have support from you guys in the community and the baseball world, all of those play a factor in the growth of our baseball program. So I want to say thank you, most importantly, for supporting us in everything we're doing here in Florida Memorial.
All right.
Yes.
Well, before you get out, and Michael, I don't know if you have another one. AD Drew has a follow-up question.
All right, Coach, follow-up question, kind of based on what we've been talking about here. This year is a little bit of a different dynamic with fans not being allowed in most places. How has that changed the game? Because, when the momentum swings, you don't hear the crowd cheering for you or cheering against you, depending on where you're playing at. But, baseball is such a cerebral game. It may or may not make a difference. How do you see it affecting how you approach the game, both as a coach and how you think your players are approaching the game?
I don't know if it affects us in the sense of how we approach the game. We have a plan. We're going to stick to the plan no matter where we're at. I do think to a little bit it affects the players in the sense of their parents and family and community and friends that come to support them. I do think that, that kind of, stinks, for a lack of a better word, because some are seniors, and this is the last time that some of these guys will get to play a college baseball season. And so I think it affects them that way more so than anything else. But as far as the actual play on the field, I would hope it doesn't affect them too much because when we play on the road, fans aren't our friends. And so as long as we can keep focused and locked in on each other and continue to play as a family, I think we'll be all right. I just think, it kind of stinks that the families can't see them play and their friends and people that love and support them. But you guys doing a great job with the live stream and all of that. And so that's kind of lessened the blow a little bit. But at the same time, it's nothing like watching a baseball game in person live.
Except for the weather.
Yes, excellent.
and just to jump in on that, as Coach has stated, of course, Florida Memorial University is a partner with us here at the Black College Sports Network. So you can look to see their home games on the FMU Athletics website, as well as mybcsn.net on a regular basis. We actually have a game this Friday coming up, and then there's a doubleheader on Saturday. So please make sure you stay tuned in for that. Michael, any final questions for Coach Tino?
Coach, I will see you Friday. I'll be doing your color commentator with the Black College Network. All I want to tell you is you keep putting the product on the field, and Black College Nines will report it.
I appreciate you, Michael. You guys have a great day, AD. Have a great day, Roy. God bless.
Thank you, Coach. Take care. All right. Again, that's Coach Tino Burgos of the Florida Memorial Lions. And coming up next, we have Coach Carlton Hardy of Savannah State University. Coach Hardy, if you can hear me, you can go ahead and start bringing yourself in. There you go. And did we get
you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
All righty. This is Michael Coker with Black College Nines.
Michael, good to meet you. Good to meet you, brother.
Same here. You and I, we've had some we've had some exchanges over the years. Savannah State recently just left the MEAC conference and became a Division II program again. And I think you're in a unique situation because you are a true Division I coach. You've taken on, I remember the regional where you really had a chance to beat Florida State. And in that game, you had a bunch of factors that in the first few innings. If you made it out of those first few innings, I think you would have knocked off that super ranked team. With that experience, how will that transpire into the SIAC conference? Because last year, your first year, you found yourself ranked and you played 500 ball. Are you still going to be recruiting Division I players at the Division II level?
I appreciate the question, Michael. in regards to recruiting, we're always looking to recruit the best student athletes that can succeed at Savannah State. The Division I, Division II aspect, we're looking for guys that can chew gum and walk at the same time, who can take care of the business in the classroom, who are coachable, who are, good ambassadors for the university, and can play baseball. And if, as we look throughout the country, specifically regionally, I think we have a good chance to bring in quality baseball players to Savannah State University.
Now, you're ranked number 8 in the Black College Nines HBCU baseball top 10 poll. With that ranking, you got teams knocking on your door to play you. And here, the reason why I asked this question is I talk to every media member nearly across the country, and I'm constantly pushing HBCU baseball. In January, they're telling me that the team to beat is Savannah State.
That is interesting. I would not say that people are knocking down our doors. This is a unique situation in regards to COVID. As a coach from your previous guest, we are trying to play any and everyone, specifically regionally. We're looking for competition. I mean, it was March the 12th of 2020. I had to inform our kids that they can no longer play baseball for this season at Savannah State University, let alone be on campus. So we're itching at the bit to hear the umpire say play ball and try to win that first pitch.
Now, how has COVID affected your program? How has it affected not just recruiting, but the administration? Is the administration behind you all in getting that first pitch in? Or because we're hearing that there's a potential March 1st date that they may cut everything off.
My administration has done a terrific job. From March the 12th up until this date, they are providing the baseball program all the resources needed to give our kids the best opportunity to get on the field. We're testing on a regular basis. Our kids are buying into the concept that they need to wear a mask, not only on the baseball field, but in their daily walks of life. We're excited. We're getting that out on the field later on today as we prepare for our first game here next weekend.
Now, you play Jacksonville. You play Everett Waters in the Diamond, the Classic, the Shrimp Classic in Jacksonville, and that's coming up on the 22nd of March.
Yes, sir.
That's considered a non-conference game for you, but Everett Waters is a very good common opponent. What is your take on that tournament that BCSN 360 is putting on? And that's a game that is a game for historical Black college purposes.
We are excited for the opportunity. Very appreciative that the individuals with the Jumbo Shrimp, the BCN organization, for giving us a call and allowing us the opportunity to represent Savannah State University in the great state of Florida, playing in a terrific venue, and playing a quality opponent in Everett Waters. We're excited about the opportunity. That date hasn't arrived. Our motto here in the program is to win the next day. And so with today being the day after Valentine's, February 16th, our goal is to win today and look forward to February 17th.
All right, Michael, we have a question from AD Drew.
Coach Hardy, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing great. Got a kind of a question about scheduling. Obviously, we know there's been some challenges due to COVID. Some teams in the SIAC have decided not to play baseball this year, with the SIAC being your conference. Kind of talk about some of the challenges that you have had going out and finding not only opponents, but quality opponents for you guys to play. And then talk about some of the things, some of the, I guess, the uncertainty that revolves around your schedule. You know, you may get on the bus Thursday for a Friday series and have to turn around halfway because of one factor or another. Just kind of talk about some of those unique challenges putting together a schedule this year, let alone a competitive schedule.
This year will be unique. There's a lot of things that have to go well in order for us to have an opportunity to go out there and compete on the field. There are factors that are not in our control, and we're going day by day, making sure that we're doing everything that we can to give ourselves an opportunity to get on the field. We talk to the kids every day about social distancing, wearing a mask, washing their hands. We've changed the way we practice. We use both dugouts. We use the bleachers in regards to kids putting their equipment up. We've been fortunate that every kid in our program has a different helmet. We use different bats. We have hand sanitizers throughout the facility. And so I think it's just going to make us better, both as a team and as a society. We talk about all the time. One of my responsibilities here at the university is not just to help develop guys on the baseball field, but it's to help and develop them off the field. And so hygiene is one of the most important things you can do in your life. It helps you live a healthy lifestyle. So COVID is allowing me the opportunity to pass along information to our young men about, making sure we clean up after ourselves. We wash our hands, we wash our clothes, we wash our body. We're cognizant of our speech around people. I have more young men, even with a mask on, they cover their mouth when they're talking. I have young men, when I see them, when they go eat, they're covering their mouths when they're eating. They're making sure they're blowing their noses. They're washing their hands once they leave the restroom. Unique situation, but I think it's going to make us better. It's going to make our young men better and more responsible and accountable for themselves.
Quick follow-up on that, Coach. Outside of the hygiene stuff that you just mentioned, is there one thing that has come out of this COVID crisis that you would like to see implemented, as we get to our new norm?
I'm sorry, I had someone talk to me. If there's one thing, there's numerous things, but a couple of things that I would like to become the new normal is that we get back to playing baseball. We get back to appreciating the opportunity that the good Lord has blessed us with. Our young men are learning different ways to deal with crisis. Even the educational aspect of, hey, you have to be in person and you have to talk in person to learn. I've done more Zoom calls and more WebEx meetings than I've ever done before. It's making me a better coach. We have to split up in groups. So our young men, it's a little bit different where they have their own buddies. Now they're buddies with everyone because we tried to create a bubble here at Savannah State for our baseball players. So our guys are having an opportunity to learn more about each other than they possibly would have in regards to COVID.
Thank you, Coach. Go ahead, Michael.
With the 2021 season starting, where is How do you see your team finishing the season from start to finish? Where do you think you're going to place? Are we looking at a team that's going to win the SIAC? Are we looking at a team that's going to make the NCAA regional? Talk about your team.
Very good question, Michael. Our goal, it sounds like a cliche, is that we try not to get ahead of ourselves. Our goal is to win the first pitch of the first game. And then after that is to win the second pitch. And so we're going to take it day by day. One of our goals is to go 1-0 each day. If we play a doubleheader, we're worried about that first game, and then we'll tackle that second game when it gets there. I think we have a great opportunity to be extremely successful. Our kids understand that we still must do things that are a little bit different than before. We have to test and we have to wear masks and all the above, which I'm pretty sure every team in the country is doing the same thing. The conference, although we haven't played anyone in the conference that we're currently in now a good 15 years, I think anytime you lace the shoes up and that umpire says play ball, that it's going to be competitive. But I can guarantee you this, that Savannah State is going to come ready to play. And at the end of 9 innings, at the end of the day, we look to be more successful than not. Our team we have a good mixture. We have the quote unquote COVID seniors that decided to return, a mixture of some junior college kids and kids who are younger in the program. They're going to get an opportunity to play. So I'm excited about our depth. Usually we're stronger in one area compared to the other, but I think we have great starting pitching. I love our offense. I have currently 4 outfielders, all run 6'6" or better. We have power from the top of our lineup. The guy who led us in home runs last year will actually bat leadoff for us this year. So we're extremely excited. We're chomping at the bit and look forward to meeting with you guys again at the end of the year. And instead of having a 8 in front of our name, we have a 1.
All right. Coach, this is Roy Evans, and that's actually going to be a great lead-in to our comment, one of the comments that I want to make. Before the whole pandemic hit, we actually had named your football coach over there at Savannah State the coach of the year for the small division schools. So it sounds like you want to take that title for the baseball when we start doing those rankings as well.
Coach Quinn has done a wonderful job here at Savannah State. His first year, he's really he's gotten the program excited. And when I say program, our athletic department, our community, we have terrific fan support, and it's just going to carry over to both our basketball programs, our baseball programs, our track programs, golf programs, tennis, specifically baseball. He's putting a lot of pressure on me that, hey, if you want to represent Savannah State in the coaching capacity, he set a standard. And it is my responsibility to get our young men to understand the standard that we have here at Savannah State. And it's all about being successful both on and off the field. And with Coach Quinn in charge, it's about winning championships. So that's our goal, is to play well in the regular season, to give ourselves an opportunity to make our conference tournament. And we look forward to hopefully playing that last game in the conference tournament and getting ready for a regional.
All right. Well, Coach, I don't have anything else. Just before I let Michael get in his last couple of questions here, I just want to say let AD Mashariki know that we're saying hello, and you guys have good luck over there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else from you, Michael?
Coach, I will be catching your game on the 22nd of March in Jacksonville. We will do a podcast then.
Okay. Well,
mark that on your calendars.
Will do. I appreciate you guys having me on. having an opportunity to speak about the Savannah State University baseball program. Appreciate everything you guys do for Black College baseball, and look forward to speaking to you guys soon.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Now, Black College Nines, like I said, we cover HBCU baseball and the many things that goes on in the sport of collegiate baseball. We are the only ones who are covering we devote a full coverage to promoting, to bringing stories, covering the baseball programs, covering the coaches, the players, the won and loss records, and voting in our top 10 poll. As I stated earlier, Black College Nines, we have more than 35, 40 national voters for our polls. And we vote independent of each other.
Well, Michael, what we're going to do right now is see if we can get AD Drew to come in. Looks like we have one of our coaches is having a little trouble getting in. So we'll let AD Drew come in and you guys have a little conversation about some of the things that are going on with HBCU baseball.
Well, Coach, I want to say this to you, AD. It was a real learning experience this past weekend. We bumped good heads. When I say we bumped good heads, we presented that game as the way it should have been presented. When I say that, your insight into collegiate baseball, my insight into writing collegiate baseball, as the way I was a little bit nervous coming on there and doing the color commentator, because normally when I'm in the press box, I'm writing. And that is it. It was a learning experience between you and Roy. And I really appreciate that time. I really appreciate the conversation. And the insight of our knowledge of the game is unprecedented to none. And you were spot on in your points to me and allowing me to present some of the game scenarios, which actually did happen. And like you said, Florida Memorial could have pulled that game out.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Mike. And, the one thing when you're doing the lead or the play-by-play in baseball, the most important thing is, you don't quite have to get in depth as you do in other sports. You set up the basic storyline, what's happening, give the count, give the score. And the beautiful thing about baseball is you let it play out on video right there in front of you. And it offers an opportunity for you and I to have those conversations that we had during the broadcast, be it talking about the situation in front of us, be it bringing in other outside facts and stats into the during the game. And just being able to get it right when you've got an exciting play, as we just happened to have during that particular game. We had a pitcher's duel, and then it came down to an error and a couple of close plays at the plate. Next thing you know, unfortunately, our number 9 team lost a very close game. So once again, we appreciate that. And one other thing, with this being Black History Month, I think it's important that not only that we talk about Black history, Black sports history, but emphasize those players who are HBCU products, who've played baseball and other sports, Black college sports.
I agree with you. Me being a HBCU former baseball player myself, not enough attention gets brought to the HBCU baseball. That's where Black College 9 comes in. But I love doing this because what's happening here is the lack of coverage at the national level. We have picked up and we have taken it into new heights. And every year we're growing and growing and growing. And it's not just it's also the other networks like your network, Omnidon. I love those three guys in Texas. I'm talking about Dr. Cabell, Bishop, and Mike Washington. A lot of times we don't get the respect that's deserved. So we have to go out there and really push ourselves and our products. And that's where I love reporting for HBCU baseball. I'm a former, I did things for Baseball America years ago. And while someone else got that credit, I was the one behind the writing. And then there was Black College Baseball and now Black College Nines. So and this weekend was an eye-opening experience for me because I've never, like I said, I've spent time in the press box, and I love writing. This is the first time I ever had a chance to actually analyze the game as a commentator. So, and these things, Black college sports is giving us a bigger chance and a bigger voice than ever before.
And speaking of that voice, Mike, we happen to come together through a new association called the HBCU Pro Sports Media Association, which is how we originally met face to face, or at least Zoom to Zoom, as we did. Yes, I was aware of Black College Nines. I saw the name Michael Coker. I didn't, of course, never could put a name with a face because you never really put your face out there like that when it came to it. And some of the other people that we've happened to meet throughout this partnership or this organization. This organization will become such as the Associated Press for Black college sports, or like the Sheridan Network was our former way of Black journalists coming together to cover Black sports. And then when you think about some of the people who are members of this association, such as those people over at Oniden, such as Eric Moore, the Black College Sports Network, Dr. Cavill and the crew, Charles and Mike over inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Carlos Brown, Ken Rashad. There are many people, and of course our president, who is Trevin Jones, with his organization. Who am I missing there? And there's so many. There's about 20 of us right now, and I don't have time to go through all the names, but sooner or later I'll drop all those names. But just the fact that we're able to come together, number one, to put on an event like this. This is something new, something that a lot of people have not tried before. You always have football media day. Basketball media day has come out front in the last few years. Now we're doing baseball media day. We're looking to do media day for other non-revenue and or Olympic sports as they are called. So just to be able to come together and do things like that and hope that our consumers of HBCU sports appreciate the efforts that we're doing. And speaking of appreciating those efforts, just like any organization, we could all use a donation, a cup of coffee or something like that. So if you do have an opportunity to make a donation to the Black College Sports Network, you can hit us up, myjbn.com/support, and show your appreciation for this product that we are putting out. Once again, that's myjbn.com/support. You can give as little as that $1 that you spend at McDonald's to go get you a cup of coffee, or you can put some more zeros between that decimal point if you would like to. So we're good with that. And talk about Black College Nines there for a moment, Michael.
Black College Nines, we pride ourselves into making sure that our information is correct. We are in constant contact with every baseball program, not just during the season, but off season as well. We start off with fall ball. We get a general understanding of where our teams are heading, how they're heading, how they're recruiting, their roster. And my favorite thing I like is pitching. And I'm starting to see a new trend coming that I've never seen before. And this is my 20th year of covering collegiate baseball. I'm starting to see a trend for HBCUs. We're getting more 90 guys that are throwing in the high 90s than we ever have. Usually they're either, three things happen here as a former Major League Baseball scouts. Kids coming out of high school, either they will sign a pro contract or they'll go and play for a Division I program. And that Division I program happens to be the minor leagues of Major League Baseball. So that leaves the scraps for other schools, especially HBCUs. But that's not happening now because HBCUs and Black College Nines is putting a good product on the field because of our coverage. Our coverage is Jay Soko is the founder. Jay has done some wonderful things. Jay, unlike me, likes the historical aspect of the game, which is great because that's what brought Black College Nines into reporting our current contemporary news of HBCU baseball. A lot of people aren't aware that the Negro League, the players from the Negro League, all 85% came from HBCUs. Then Major League Baseball had a transformation as where they started getting the black players. Still, who was leading our stars who are passing away now? They came from HBCUs. HBCU has always been a stepping stone into Major League Baseball, and we are looking to return that, and so that we can continue to push historically black college and universities, not just at the HBCU level, but the national level of Major League Baseball.
Yes, definitely. If you would, Mike, well, I'll tell you what, if our producer Roy is there, Roy, you probably need to go ahead and take a quick break and then come back. When we come back, we'll go ahead and get into recap the first five that you mentioned and kind of let you get into the top five teams as we await on our next coach to join us here on our media day. AD Drew, along with AD Drew of Black College Sports Network, along with Michael Coker of Black College Nines, and we'll be right back after these short messages.
Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
I'm attorney Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being heard.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
True Black Essentials is a retail opportunity to bring black businesses under one roof where every product on every shelf in every aisle will be black owned and black produced by people all over the world. Statistics show that the $1.3 trillion of spending power that we have as black people can easily be turned into each black person having $2 million if we were to shop black for 2 years. So True Black Essentials will launch an e-commerce store on November 1st, 2020. but we will open up brick and mortar stores in Atlanta, New Orleans, Charlotte, Houston, and Jacksonville, with the very first store opening in Atlanta, June 19, 2021.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
Hello and welcome back to the BCSN Black College Baseball Roundup. Joining us now, we have Coach Drew Bailey from Bluefield State. Just want to give a note, they are the number 6 ranked team. We are working on some technical issues with Coach Ty Roberts from Biles College, who is the number 7 team, and we will try to get them in before the end of the show. But now we turn it back over to Michael Coker and Coach Bailey.
Bluefield State College comes in at number 6. Big Blues, as they call themselves. They are a school located in Bluefield, West Virginia, a mountainy area. If you've never been, it's nice, it's beautiful, it's good God country. I like that area. But we're talking to Bluefield's first-year head coach, Drew Bailey. Drew, you're in a situation as to where you're taking over a program in the last 2 years that have elevated themselves in HBCU baseball. This is your first year. You're taking over the number 6 ranked team. You want to talk about that?
Yes, sir, absolutely, and thank you for having me on. I'm very familiar with Bluefield State. I played at Concord University. I played in the WEBIAC. Bluefield State, and I told the guys, we've always had some good players, but we're searching, and to my knowledge, we've never had a winning season. So that's one of the big things we're searching for this year, and we're hunting for. In the last couple of years, they've definitely gotten better and made progress, but there's a lot of work to be done here, and we've got some good guys on the roster, and we've been hitting it hard recruiting, but I'm excited to be here. I came from a really good program at Concord University, and we've got a stadium now, and there's a lot of pluses going on our campus.
Well, I want to correct you on a winning season. Last year you had a winning season. You finished in our top 10 poll. I know it was COVID, but still it's going down in the record books. So you had a winning season.
Okay. Well, I stand corrected.
Well, what I really like about the program is for the last few years, Bluefield State College baseball program did not have a home game or a place to play their home games. Your stadium was being renovated, and it's a beautiful stadium. Now you have a place to play your home games. Are you practicing there? Are your guys getting themselves, considering you're in a cold climate country?
Yes, sir. So we've got a couple different options. There's an indoor facility there at Bowen Field. We've been on the dirt twice so far. Obviously, we'd like to get on there more. We use the indoor facility some. There's no heat in the indoor facility. I personally own my own buildings. I've got my own indoor facility that we use some as well. So we've got access to some resources that we haven't had in the past. So it's definitely, we've got a beautiful locker room, beautiful stadium, which is literally maybe a mile around the corner. So like I said, there's a lot of the administration, the school, there's a lot of support, and there's a lot of things that are changing here for the better.
Well, your program in the last 2 years have competed postseason play in the United States Baseball Association Athletic Association poll tournament.
Yes, sir.
There are times when you was a inning or two away or bases loaded away from either taking those tournaments or putting some runs to get ahead. How is recruiting helping go Big Blue now?
I've hit the ground running. I think I've signed 18 or 19 young men in the first 4 weeks I've been here. There's a lot of kids all the way from Winston-Salem, Charlotte, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia. There's a lot of kids excited, to get the opportunity to play Division II baseball and play at HBCU. And I'm excited. There's a lot of young men that have said yes to our program in the last 4 weeks that are really going to help us tremendously and add to what we already have on our roster.
And you're doing this as a first-year coach.
This is my second year as a head coach. I was the head baseball coach at Averett University for a year. This is my 7th year in college baseball, or 5th year in college baseball. I did 2 in college softball. So my 7th year in college athletics. But this is my first. I just completed my first month at Bluefield State. Yes, sir.
Coach, and don't take this wrong, but you look like you're a 21, 22-year-old kid.
Yeah, I don't have any facial. I'm 31. I'll be 32 next month.
How has the administration taken to you, and especially to COVID, considering there's still a lot of uncertainty? There are programs that are still shutting down just as we speak, even though they have a full 55-game schedule. What's the play like on the field? Will you guys be wearing masks during the games?
To my knowledge, if we're around each other, we have to wear a mask. But like when I'm coaching third, I don't believe that I'll have to because there's no one around me. But when I meet with the umpires, when stuff like that, when I have interaction, close-up interaction, we'll have to have a mask up. We get tested twice a week here, and we have to be tested 24 hours before competition. So we're very thorough and taking a lot of precautions in what we're doing.
Now, talk about that new stadium that you're going to be playing in. It took a couple years to build. They were supposed to be ready last year. And how is it that you were coming into the new stadium, and how is it that you were able to get the head coaching job?
So we don't have it's a new stadium to us. The original plan was to renovate a field on campus, but now we play at Bowen Field, which is where the Orioles played for 48 years, the Blue Jays. Now it's Team USA, Major League Baseball. It's the Appalachian League. It's a college Summerwood Bat League. So it's a new stadium to us, but it's a stadium that's probably 70, 80 years old. But that's exciting for us. Just being able to have a place that's a huge recruiting tool for us. And that's usually the last stop when I have a recruit on campus. So that's big for us. As far as getting the job, I was the pitching coach at a really good Division II program where I graduated from, Concord. That's actually where I got drafted out of, Concord University. I had a really good program over there. I knew Derek Price, our athletic director. We worked together at Bluefield College, so we had a really good relationship there. And the head coach, Coach Rassick, took another opportunity right after Christmas, and this job was open, and they needed to fill it quickly. And I was a local guy, and I've got a lot of understanding of the territory and the campus and the school and the recruiting region. So it just seemed like a good fit on both ends.
Are you getting support from your administration, and how are they branding Drew Bailey?
Absolutely. Everything's changed as far as our scholarship structure. T does a great job. Our website is phenomenal now. We're adding majors. Yeah, there's a lot of support. Obviously, now we have Bowen Field. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of things that have changed, and that was enticing for me because I left a program that's probably going to contend to win the Mountain East this year. And I wouldn't have left it if I didn't feel like this was going to be a good situation. And it's been good. I had several people tell me you're going to have a hard time recruiting, and I told them changing the culture, which Coach Rassick continued to do, and Coach Hunter did a good job with the resources he had, but changing the culture and getting these guys to believe that they're going to win every game, that's the hard part. Recruiting, to me, there's so many young men right now with COVID that with the COVID issue that aren't going to have a place to play after this year, after their senior year of high school. So I personally believe COVID has made small college baseball better because you have guys.
Yes.
I think it's going to make small college baseball better because guys, they're not going to hold out as long to try and go Division I, or, they want to be sure that they're going to have a good place to play. So, this place checked all the boxes for me. Like I said, I had a prior relationship with AD, and there's a lot of good people on this campus.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things, even with Major League Baseball, as a former scout, and you being a former draft pick for Major League Baseball, when they decided to cut the draft down, the first thing that popped in my mind was small school HBCUs and small school college baseball is going to get these top players. These players are going to join these programs, and they're going to make a major impact.
Yes, sir.
How is this going to change the style, your coaching style, and the play on the field for Big Blue?
For me, the way I like to set it up is, I like 2 or 3 guys in the middle of the lineup that have some juice, some power, and I want athletes in the outfield. I want athletes in the middle. I want to be able to run. I want to be able to make plays, take extra bags, and there are so many good athletes out there that are still unsigned. I've just been hitting the ground running. I'm almost done with the 21 class. I've just done this all in the past month, just recruits every day, excuse me. But I think it's going to allow us to, I don't want to be old school, just wait for the home run. I want to steal a base. I want to go first to third on balls in the gaps. I want to take extra bags. I want to force people to make plays on us, and I want to make plays. I want to be athletic, and there's so many good athletes still left out there looking for a place. So I think it's helped us.
Hey, Michael, we got AD Drew with a question.
Coach, you kind of started on my question talking about recruiting. Obviously, we know things have changed because of COVID. You've got the high school athlete coming out. You've got seniors, super seniors, or COVID seniors, whatever phrase you want to call them, those who returned this year, and those who will have the option to return next year, where they would have normally aged out of your program. And then you've got JUCO players out there. We're not even going to get into Division I transfers, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So because of COVID, how has your approach to recruiting changed, number one? And then number two, I want to hone in specifically on the high school athlete. How do you think this is going to affect them in their recruiting cycle? Because honestly, I see this COVID situation is going to be a 2 to 3 year effect on some of these kids, because, they're letting your kids stay, but they didn't say anything about additional scholarships. So how does all this change your recruiting methods?
Well, I think when you touched on junior college, I personally, when I'm taking over a program that has struggled in the past and we want to get better quicker, this is the best year we'll ever have for a junior college kid, because they get 3 years. You're getting a junior college kid that can stay in your program now for 3 years. Now, typically I want to stay 75, 80% high school kids so we can build some rapport. We can have some tenured guys, and you don't have constant turnover. But for me personally, I've signed 4 or 5 junior college arms in the last month. And, if you can't pitch, you can't win. So that's been my main focus, is the arms and trying to be athletic up the middle. But as far as having an impact, I agree. No one's looking. A lot of guys don't have money right now for first baseman, for somebody that can just hit and can't run. Like, you're going to have to be able to play another position, because the investment on a kid right now is very limited if they have any money at all. So you're going to need to get as much bang for your buck as you can. So taking a kid that, okay, he can hit, but maybe he can't play D, your pitchers are going off the board first. And that's the reality of it, And as far as baseball, right. Your draft picks are primarily pitchers. That's just, your money's in arms. That's just, you can't pitch, you can't win. So, but as far as the recruiting side, and you said my approach, I took over in January, and there's 3 or 4 kids signed. So I have my work to do recruiting, but I give kids 14 days. I'm not going to let a kid, if I make you an offer, you got 2 weeks to give me a decision. If this isn't a program for you, that's okay. I understand that, but I'm moving on. I'm not going to wait on a kid for a month and let him weigh out his options and try and find a better option while I miss on 2 or 3 other kids. So some might think it is what it is. There's a limited opportunity right now. And there's a lot of teams that don't have any money. Most of your good Division IIs, your really good Division IIs, established Division IIs, have been out of money or very limited money since the fall. So me coming in late, I give you 2 weeks. If you don't like my offer, that's fine. Call me, be a grown man. Let me know that you don't want to come. Don't text me. That's fine. And then we're moving on from there. We're moving on from there. But I think kids have to be realistic now more than ever. And like you said, for the next 3 or 4 years, it's going to impact these guys because we're getting ready to add an NBA here. Well, if I've got a kid that's coming in and graduates after year 3 and wants to play out his last year of eligibility, or he graduates in 3 years and was a COVID redshirt, he can get his NBA and play out those last 2 years. So my money's still tied up in that pitcher or hitter or whatever. So there's truly going to be limited opportunity at these schools. And that's why you're seeing 70 men rosters.
Do you think more kids are going to, more kids out of high school are going to have to take the JUCO route because of that?
Well, I think you're going to have to take the JUCO route, the Division III route, the Division II route. When you're looking D1, like you've got to find the best fit. And if somebody invests in you early, and financially, it makes sense. It's a good fit academically. The campus life's a good fit. You need to think real hard about taking that offer because there's a lot of kids right now turning down offers, looking for something better, and it's not going to be there.
All right, Coach. Now let's get back on the field. You built your team. Now, normally for teams, northern teams like you spend a lot of time in the South during the month of February and into early March getting those games in because of weather situations.
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
once again, COVID has affected because everybody has limited travel right now. Once again, how has that changed your approach of being able not get those warm weather games in that you would normally get in during this time of the season?
Well, down to 40 games. We leave for Georgia Friday. So we have one Southern trip. And then after that, we stay kind of North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. Go to Ohio once, but the limited games is obviously tougher. You don't really get as many non-conference to figure out. And obviously we're D2 independent, but in a regular year in a conference, which we look to go in the next year, we're looking to go into a league right now, but it's hard because, you don't have as many games to fill guys out and try and figure out who's going to be your setup guy, who's your closer, who's going to hit in the 2-hole, whatever it may be. It makes it tougher. So being indoors and not being able to go south a lot, we're trying to get as many live at bats in as we can. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. Try and get as many live at bats in that we can. And, there's nothing that compares to being on the dirt. But we have to do the best we can. Making excuses, that's not going to help us. We got to do the best with what we have. And that's all we got to control the controllables. I talked to the guys a lot about that, but that's all we can do.
I'm going to give it over to Michael for the last question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Drew, you touched on a few things here. Major League Baseball has made a decision to tighten its baseball up to prevent the ball from being live. What I think they're saying is we're going to get back to playing small ball. No longer, because I'm not a fan of this thing called launch angle. Launch angle to me is just a regular home run, but it produces more strikeouts. Do you see, how do you see this transpiring for Big Blue? How do you see small ball?
So, one of the things with launch angle, it's a very misunderstood term. Every swing that we have has a launch angle, whether it's negative or positive. But the problem is you take a guy like Justin Turner from the Dodgers who changed his entire career by trying to elevate the ball at plus 15 or plus 20 up in the air. But he's a major leaguer and he's Justin Turner, and that fits his mold. Most guys at the Division II level are not going to hit the ball out of the park. So for me, like I touched on earlier, we hit and run, we sack bunt, we bunt for hit every day in our rounds. I want to be able to force guys to make plays. And when we just sit back and wait on doubles and home runs, that number one is it's not a very fun style of baseball. And it's not going to work in your favor more times than not. So I think Major League Baseball wants to see the ball put in play more. They want to see more defensive plays. They want to see action. And right now the strikeout rates are up, home run numbers are up. Velocity's up. It's just kind of throw it as hard as you can, hit it as far as you can, which that works for certain guys, but you have to play to your skill set. And I think that's where we get in trouble. It's like, hey, you're a left-handed hitter. You need to wear out the 6-hole. You run well. You don't need the ball up in the air. Or, hey, you're a first baseman. You don't run well. You need the ball in the air. If you're a left-handed first baseman in today's game, you cannot pull the ball on the ground because the second baseman's playing in right field, if you can't run. So it's got to make sense based off your skill set. I tell my guys every time, I got 3 lefties, I want you to examine the field before you get in the box. If there's a bunt for a hit opportunity, we take it. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't always have to be a double in the gap. Like, we're going to play baseball. And sometimes, hey, runner on third, you hit a hard ground ball to second base and you score him, I'm giving you a high five. That's baseball. That's situational hitting. So I think, yeah, the game of baseball has kind of gotten away from some guys, and I think we need to get back to just playing baseball.
I thank you for that.
All right, and that is Coach Drew Bailey of Bluefield State. Coach, we want to thank you again for your time. Good luck to you and your team, and have a great season.
Thank y'all. Appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Michael, I believe coming up next, we have our number 5 team, Benedict College. Coach Selwyn Young, I believe, is who's stepping in for us. And
Coach,
get him to unmute here just a second. I just sent him the thing to unmute, and I believe we have him.
I just hit the button.
Then you're doing good.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
Yes. How about yourself? You're Benedict College. You're coached by Selwyn Young. The program is located in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, I'm going to have some fun with this one because there's a lot to offer, and you and I talk a lot.
Yes.
And if you don't know anything about Selwyn Young is a former Major League Baseball player with the king of stolen base, Rickey Henderson. You have set records that I do not think will ever be broken in the 10 years. I'm sorry, correct me. The 11 years that you have been coaching at Benedict. You're constantly breaking stolen base records. You're constantly you make a catcher nervous when he should be nervous, because if he throws out 3 of your batters in the game, you've already stolen 10 bases on him.
Sometimes,
Coach.
Sometimes it happens that way.
Yeah, but you run all the time. It's probably one of the most unique things about baseball. Black College Nines, we did a thing on we wrote an article on the top catchers in HBCU, the HBCU baseball ranks, and I'm gonna do a follow-up to that on players who steal bases. Now I want to get into I'm going to get into your number 5 ranking, but your number 5 ranking, you're probably, of all of the HBCU baseball teams that are ranked, that includes the large schools, every game that you're in, you have men on second and third. I don't care what the situation is. You have men in scoring positions to win games, to score runs, just based upon the steal. How do you see, and what do you do to get these kids to buy into your program? And considering I have seen your games where you have stolen bases and it's 2 outs and you're still running.
Well, if you're trying to win, if you have 1 run and I don't have any, that means you won. So my goal is to cut the field in half. If I get a guy on and we've been safe 85% of the time stealing over my however many years I've been here, why should I sacrifice bunt? Bunt is 50-50 chance. I steal is 85%. So I'm just doing the math. And sometimes, I figured the guys out that are not afraid to get off the base. In other words, if you're coaching third, Mike, you can see air and opportunity, meaning the space in between the lead and the first baseman, there needs to be enough air before I can give you the opportunity to run. Because other than that, it's like you running in place and you just gonna get thrown out. So basically that's where I am with the base stealing part of it.
Well,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It creates a fast-paced game, and the kids are understanding, You know, like I have some heavy kids on the team that don't run as well as coach. I'm gonna steal a base this year. If that gets them excited, then let's keep going. Because you and I both know in football, basketball, you know, people been saying you run up to score. In college sports, they always disrespect the baseball game by not allowing you to play the amount of games and that sort of thing. In football and basketball, they run up to score, nobody says nothing. They talk about this unwritten rule in baseball. That went out the window when all them kids started running and hitting the ball and scoring, and they're looking for contracts. See, that's the other thing. When you're looking for a contract, the guys that are being scouting you or whatever, because I did that for 10 years with the Mariners and Reds and a few other organizations, you looking at their track record. What type of stats do they have? Can they, you know, can I depend on this guy to steal a base? You know, can I talk to, let's say if you work for the Mets and say, you know what, Mike, I got a kid that can run. Can he steal a base, sell one? And I tell him, yeah, then they'll believe it. But that's part of it, is trying to get these kids a contract. Because that's, of course, they go to school to graduate, but some of them have aspirations of becoming professionals. And the only way you're going to do that, you got to put up some numbers.
Especially coming out of an HBCU, because we don't get looked at a lot. But you, back to the play on the field, you have a kid who I think can steal 100 bases, something that has never been done at the collegiate level. I'm talking about Brandon O'Connor. Last year, Braden, I'm sorry.
Braden O'Connor, yeah.
Yeah, Braden had 25 steals in 11 games. He was on pace to get to 100. Talk about that.
Well, if this COVID has us playing 16 games, and I think if we were to get in a good situation to possibly go win the tournament, get to the regional, get to the World Series, that's the only way they're going to get to the amount of games you need to add something of that nature. Because, you know, if it's a 20-game season, right, 20 times 5, you're going to have to average 5 stolen bases a game. Can he do it? Yeah, he can do it. Is it possible? Everything's possible. Would I put pressure on him? I've already told him that you said he's going to steal 100 bases. He said, come on, coach. He said, like 5 a game. I said, well, hey, it is what it is. So, I mean, the talent level, and he's a student. He's a student of the game. When he first came here, Braden was getting picked off and thrown out. And once he understood what his role was, you're not running just because you're fast. You're running to be safe. Oh, that changed the whole game, because now you're paying attention on the secrets and the tips that we've been looking for. So if anybody could do it, he can. But somebody stole 97 bases, I think, from St. Leo or somewhere years ago. 97 is a lot.
But that's not 100.
No, nobody's hit 100 yet. No. And he's coming back. Braden's going to graduate this June or this May. And Benedict has a grad school, so now he's going to the grad school. So he has 1 season left, but he'll have his degree in May, and he's coming back next year. Hopefully, with this COVID get done and we have a real season, he's coming back. So who knows? He might be that 100 stolen base kid.
Well, I want to get back to the play on the field. 2 years ago, you said to me you were going to concentrate on getting pitching. You said that you had David White, you had a bunch of hitters that were knocking the ball all over the field, out of the park. I mean, there were some unbelievable home runs that was hit by your team.
Yeah.
But you said the one thing that really you needed to do was recruit pitching. And you've gotten some arms this year. You've got a couple guys that have topped off in the mid-90s. Some of them. Is this new territory for you?
No, because you and I both know you played. you're not going to win as many games unless you have effective pitching. You can have hard throwers, but if they're not getting people out and they ain't missing bats, it doesn't matter. So for me, what has happened over the course of the years is I know that recruiting wise, you count on how many, maybe one hand, how many black pitchers you see in the major leagues. So we normally don't get the top black pitcher, like I think Villanova has one or Vanderbilt has one. He's throwing like 98, and they go to the Division I schools or they get drafted. So we get whatever we can get. So sometimes, I mean, it's about trying to develop them with the arm strength program, which we've done over the past few years, you know, and at this level, if you don't have something other than a fastball, you're not going to get people out because they're using metal bats. Now, with a wood bat, we can get you out. But with the metal bat, you can flick it out there and get a base hit over second baseman's head. With a wood bat, that's just a can of corn. So it changed. What I've done is change the philosophy on I need multiple pitchers because they call me Captain Hook. I'm coming to get you when it's ball one, ball two, because I still throw batting practice. I can throw strikes all day. If you can't throw strikes, why are you even out there? So these kids already know. They get ball one, ball two. They said, there go the old man standing up. Yeah, he getting ready to take a walk out there. And you and I both know that you get one time to go talk to him. Next time you got to pull him. So I give them a chance. And the new rule is you can give up at 3 runs in 1 inning. That's it. Because I got enough speed to be able to get 3 runs in the game. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the power with David White and those kids that one year we hit 40 home runs. But the bottom line is if I can manufacture runs in a 7-inning game, I know I'm going to get 3. Hell, we averaged 9 last year. So the pitching wise for me is get a bunch of them that can throw strikes. So when I don't like to panic, I like to at least give them a chance to pitch out of trouble. But you played, you already know if a kid's dropping his elbow, if he's scared and, you know, afraid to come in and, you know, fastball, no life, curveball, no break. And the catcher's sitting there and he, you know, the worst enemy the pitcher has is the catcher. The best friend the pitcher has is the catcher. Because my catcher's going to tell me the truth. Coach, he ain't got it.
That's baseball.
Yeah, that's the move right there. You ain't got it.
Coach, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
AD Drew here, Black College Sports Network.
Okay.
Question for you about you on the field. Albany State in the SIAC conference has kind of, for the last decade, has kind of dominated the East Division of the SIAC.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for Benedict to appear in the conference championship game if we're able to get to that point this particular season, Coach?
Well, you got to have lady luck on your side. You got to have some talent, and you got to have pitching, and it's a lot of different things. What has happened here is I'm looking to just stay safe, and of course we want to win. Can we get to the finals and become that school? Maybe. But see, Albany State, there's 2 Albany States. Now you need to understand this. The first Albany State, they're different sides of town. Darden Community College took over Albany State. All right. When I first came here back in 2009, Albany State was an all-black school. Okay. When they switched a few years ago, Darden is a white school. So now we would go down to Albany and they talk so much trash back and forth, right? Well, now it's Albany State is like a white school. The whole all the coaches is white, most of the kids is white. So you can't really call it HBCU, from my opinion. It's more of NCAA school. Okay, that's where we are. In our conference, SIAC, you can't really call this no black college conference because you got 6 coaches that is white. And I'm not racist no kind of way. I don't care who we play. I'm just telling you what has happened. Like Spring Hill won the conference 2019. That's an all white school. So we're what you call now a NCAA. It may be the only black college conference in Division II. However, we have completely changed the game on integration. So hopefully we get there. You know, the goal, of course, is to always go. I don't know if you can see these. You see these? I'm showing up.
Hold it up a little bit higher.
What about there?
There you go.
See that?
Yes,
See,
sir.
that's my College World Series ring from Pepperdine. And then when I was with the A's, this is my championship ring with them. We won 3 championships in a row. There we go. And so
72, 73, 74, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Oh no, I'm not that old.
You play with Ricky?
Yeah, that was 81, 82, and 83.
Okay.
Yeah. 72, that's Vita Blue and all them. I mean, I was still, you know, in Little League.
All right, guys, let's get our last question in for Coach.
Yes.
Coach, I have to say this to you. I don't saying Albany State is in a different mode. Albany State was put in a situation as to where they were going to fail, and they had to join. It was good on their behalf to bring Dalton College in because if they had not have, then Albany State would have shut down completely, and we would have lost them as an HBCU. So that was a great move on their part, because the Georgia school system was failing them and the federal government was failing them big time. Yeah. So what they did was, and this is where I owe you an apology, because I reported it in my reporting that at the time the Albany State coach was a young man who was full of gossip, lies, and he didn't like you as a person. And he said some things, and I wrote about it, and I regretted having to write about what the things that he stated. But in defense of Scott Hemmings, the head coach at Albany now, he's transformed that program as to where they're getting Major League Baseball looking at the players, something that they had not done in over a 40-year period.
Yeah.
So he's come in and he's making a difference. He just happens to be white at an HBCU.
Yeah, I don't, trust me, I'm not hating. My dad just passed away. He was white. So, you know, for me, I don't care. I don't see color. I see people. I see the player. I don't care. I never cared about it. Scott and I get along fine. And what I'm saying to you is, when you bring in a coach like that, most of the players are white. Okay, they're not. The Albany, when I first came here, was basically all black. They had maybe 1 or 2 whites. Now they flipped the script. It's a different scene over there. And for me, I welcome it because, number one, they were kind of rowdy at Albany State. They've calmed down under Scott at that other place.
Oh,
There's
big
nowhere
time.
near. Oh,
big
yeah,
time.
it's nowhere near. It was scary going to back then. It was scary.
And I need to say this to you. I've apologized to you many times after that that write-up, because the truth finally came out, and it's a testament to who you are and what you are. I mean, at that time he made a lot of noise, and then we realized all he did was making noise because he was on his way out and he knew it.
Yeah. Well, I live in America just like you. They say we're supposed to forgive people. I always forgive, because trust and believe we all have. If you don't forgive somebody, you can carry that on you for the rest of your days. And I like smiling and laughing, Mike. I like having fun.
You and I do. I didn't mean to cut you off, Coach, but every time we and I have a conversation, boy, we really get into it, and it is funny.
We get into it.
It is funny.
It's been a pleasure.
All right,
Same here.
gentlemen. Well, thank you,
All right,
Coach
buddy.
Selwyn.
Yes.
Coach Selwyn Young of the Benedict College, number 5 team on the Black College 9 small division schools. We want to thank you for your time as we get ready for our next interview. So we'll be in touch with you and talking to you over the course of the season, Coach. Take care.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a good day.
God bless you.
And
All right.
coming in now, we have the coach of our number 4 team, Mike Holochuk of Jarvis Christian. Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
All right here.
Coach, it's Mike Coker with Black College Nines. How are you again?
Good. Mike, how are you, sir?
All righty. I seem to catch you all the time here lately. Jarvis Christian, the Bulldogs, you're out of Hawkins, Texas. When you came into coaching and you came into coaching the Bulldogs, you were relatively unknown, but well-traveled. And you came into a situation as to where you was taking over a program that plays in the Red River Athletic Conference, one of the ruggedest conferences in the NAIA. It seems to be even though the office is located in Texas and everything is in Texas, it seems to be those 2 Louisiana teams, Alexandria and Shreveport, dominate that conference. But Jarvis Christian sits at the middle of the pack every year, and you get a chance to play in the conference tournament. What are you doing to elevate Jarvis Christian baseball?
Well, I think the first thing for us was just getting our players to believe. I always hate kind of using coaching cliches and things like that, but really just trusting the process. I think when you're bringing in and you're recruiting your first class, like you said, a lot of unknowns, not a lot of success here in the past, and coming in with a mindset that we're gonna flip the script. We're gonna change the way we do things, the way we act, the way we talk, the way we believe, and that's really what it is. And you're getting guys that are gonna beginning to really trust that, understanding that what the culture is. I definitely don't think it was an overnight process, but I think that was the start of it. And, you start having a little success and guys kind of start seeing and really believing the words that you're saying and the process and the practices and everything. And so from year in and year out, guys come in and now you have a little bit more to stand on. Hey, this is what we've done. This is how we've accomplished things. Guys come in with a different mindset, different work ethic, and that cycle just kind of continues to happen each and every year.
Well, your recruiting is you're starting to recruit outside of the state of Texas. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think on the recruiting side of things, again, Hawkins, for those that don't know, I mean, we're a small country town, about 1,200 people. It is probably not the best or most desired destination for a lot of recruits. And so we've really wanted to look at, a national level recruiting side of things. In my 9 years here, I think we're 37 states represented in 5 different countries. We've had players from, as far north as Canada and as far as south as the Dominican, Venezuela, and Puerto Rico. And then again, 37 different states. So, we are looking for the best available players. It does not matter where, what part of the world you're coming from. We ultimately want to find the best kids that fit our program.
Coach, we've got a question from A.D. Drew.
Yes, sir.
Still morning in your part of the country, Coach. So good morning to you, first of all. Got about 5 minutes left before it flips over there in Texas. You mentioned earlier you're in the Red River Conference. Now, the Red River Athletic Conference is a hybrid conference. You've got 5 HBCUs, which Jarvis is one of those 5 HBCUs. And then you have 7 non-HBCUs in that conference. First of all, Coach, and I've got a 2-part question. Number one is, kind of talk about in a traditional sense, obviously we know this year is different. what is like the different atmospheres or different playing between the HBCUs in your conference and the non-HBCUs in your conference?
Well, I think, for us, the difference is really not much on our perspective. And I say that because we've wanted to have our guys play baseball. We've had our guys want to come in and get an education. I think from the perspective of, to me, what an HBCU is and the historical significance is a huge part of our history. But I'll never allow our guys to use that as a crutch that, oh, we don't have this or we don't have that. I will not let them use those kind of excuses. There are obviously programs in our conference that, may have nicer facilities, have a bigger budget. That's across the country. I don't care if it's an HBCU versus a non. Every program out there can tell you 10 problems that they have. And that's the reality. If you got 5 scholarships, you want 6. If you got 7, you want 8. If you got 10 pitchers, you want 12. So to me, I will never allow our guys to use that as an excuse. It's kind of the same thing that we've talked about this spring. We've been put in probably the hardest situation of my coaching career. Our guys left back in March. Our kids don't get back on the campus until middle of January. No fall practices, no opportunity to gel, to come together. You got 2-3 weeks of practice and then it's game time. We're still learning kids' names and figuring out positions and yet trying to play baseball. Same concept there. I've explained to our guys, we're blessed that we're playing baseball. I'm not going to, again, use the excuse, well, we didn't have this or these other schools in our conference got a full fall, got this, at the end of the day, no one cares. Go play baseball.
All right. And now, part 2 of that question, this once again is related to the HBCUs in your conference. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Jarvis may be the only one that is still playing baseball this spring. So do you feel any extra burden or any extra obligation, considering you are the only HBCU in your conference that has decided to continue on with this spring athletics, and then compare that to the historically white colleges and universities? If you would kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I think, like a lot of schools, the unknown is what's kind of scared a lot of people here. There was times where, we were really excited. There was times we weren't sure. There was times where we thought it looked really bad. I think what our administration did a really good job of just kind of continuing to looking at options. Dr. Newman, our president, made a commitment to our student athletes and had to make some difficult decisions and things of that sort, which again, I definitely understand and respect. But I think we've come up with a really good plan with testing, regularly screening. Our student athletes are kind of quote unquote in a bubble here on campus. These guys made a huge sacrifice to play this semester, knowing that once they got on campus, the only time they're able to leave our campus is when we travel to play. There is no going to Walmart to get supplies. There's no going hanging out with their friends and watching a game. You're again kind of on campus for the duration of the semester, and so huge sacrifices for those guys. I can't appreciate them enough for doing that, because again, there are a lot of guys out there that would not agree to that, not want that. We did have some players that opted out, and again, we respect those decisions. So definitely appreciative, blessed that we have an opportunity to go out and play, where again, a lot of schools, even in our conference, aren't getting that opportunity this spring.
All right. Coach, we want to thank you. Michael, you guys have a last question for Coach Holochuk?
Yes. About 5 years ago, I remember the game well. I was covering the game for Black College Nines. It was a conference tournament, and it was a high-scoring game. There was a bang-bang play at second. It took the umpires 15 to 20 minutes to make a decision, and what they didn't allow you to do was bring your pitcher back on to warm up. They made him come into the game, back onto the field, and start throwing. And the team that bang-bang play played at that run and it prevent you from going to the NAIA tournament. Since that time frame, you have taken your team, you have rallied around that one game, and you've made strides, which includes a 2019 NAIA appearance. You remember that game that I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was against LSU Shreveport. And again, I guess it's been kind of the common theme here is getting our guys to understand the frustration, of a single call. All of us that have played baseball understand that there's so many times that it's easy to point the finger at an umpire. Bad call, does this, call that leads to a run or leads to a big inning that quote unquote leads to, potentially not winning a ball game. And it in the moment, it was definitely a lot going on, but also not much going on because we were all kind of standing around waiting for decisions and calls being turned and overturned and reversed. And at the end of the day, I truly believe they got it right. It was definitely a tough situation for us. Again, disagreed with the opportunity for our guy to be able to warm up after the long delay. But again, we're not going to use the excuse that's why we lost. If we score one more run, then we win a ball game. If we play a little bit defense earlier, we pitch it a little bit better, a lot of different opportunities. But I also do strongly believe that individual moment, that game, prepared us for future success. We've been in the conference championship 2 of the 3 last seasons, with that year being the first time in school history, reaching the Red River Conference title game. And I think that opportunity prepared us for that 2019 run. I think again, once you get comfortable in those situations, in those moments as a program, I don't think the lights get too bright. I think guys get more experience, more comfort, and they truly start to believe that they should be there. And it's not we got lucky this year, we did it. No, I think our guys work hard, prepare harder, and when that moment comes, they're ready for it. They're not surprised by the moment. It's not too big, and it doesn't shock anybody that we've done what we've done here the last few years.
That's Jarvis Christian, the Bulldogs. They are ranked number 4 in HBCU baseball poll. Michael Halchuk, I want to thank you for coming on board.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Michael.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great day and good luck on your season.
Thank you, Eddie.
And coming up next, our next coach to be coming in is the number 3 ranked team from Virginia State University. And I'm going to let Coach get in here and get in, asked to unmute it. I think he should be able to get ready to come in now. Okay, Coach, it should be giving you the ability to unmute.
Okay. Hello, fellas. How you doing?
There you go.
Hey, Coach. Mike Coker, Black College Nines.
How you doing? Good to see you.
All right, how about yourself? You come in our HBCU small school poll, our number 10 poll, as the number 3 ranked team. You're out of Petersburg, Virginia. It's another nice area, and Virginia's hilly. It's another nice area, but I want to stick to baseball. I want to talk about your program. I want you to tell us that for the last 4 or 5 years, you guys have put a winning product on the field. You're winning these games against these good powerhouse teams. I think you're one of 4 programs that I personally feel that would have had a breakout winning season. When I say winning season, I think you were headed to 35, maybe 40 wins in 2020. But COVID shut you down. How has COVID brought you to the 2021 season?
Yeah, like you mentioned, we started off a little slow in 2020 and then won 11 out of 15 games and was looking forward to a great season. And then, COVID hit. But, everything is going well now. There's a lot of protocols going on. Actually, we even haven't started practice yet. We're supposed to start practice this week and start games the first weekend of March. We're looking forward to, an exciting season, very optimistic and, ready to roll.
With your season starting in March, do you think you're going to get in a 55-game schedule?
No, sir. No, sir. We can only play 40 games this season, and we're roughly mid-30s this year. So we'll try to get at least 30, 35 games in, and hopefully, we'll be safe enough to, to do that.
Well, how are your players? How is your roster? How are they handling? This is a two-part question. Not just COVID, but the fact that they may not get a full season in.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. We ended up, I think, maybe March the 11th of last season, and we haven't played or been on the field since then. So we're gonna start practice this week, and it's be the first time that we're, really gonna be on the field. So it's been very stressful for the guys. Morale was down, but they're excited and ready to get back on the field.
Your players, how are they handling this? Not just the cold weather, but are they really anxious to continue the success that they've had over the years? Because you're recruiting, and I think your son is also one of your coaches.
Yes.
And your son has gone out there and he has done a magnificent job, not only just helping you with recruiting, but preparing for ball games. How is your son handling the success of the Trojan baseball?
Yeah, he's been working very hard for us. He's really helped me out a lot. He's been doing a lot of things, just keeping the guys, involved, as far as just communication, making sure they're, doing what they're supposed to do. And he's, he pretty much can relate to them a little bit more than I can, just being a little younger. And, they really look up to him, and he's really helping them out a lot.
Being a Division II program, what's the competition like when you get into a game against a ranked team versus a common team versus an opponent that's just a part of the schedule? Considering you're no longer in a conference, you're an independent program.
Correct. Yes, we usually play a lot of teams that's usually in the regionals, mostly from up north, to come down and play, and they are, very strong teams. But I think that motivates my team, motivates the players, playing a tough schedule, playing a team that usually are in the regionals a lot. So it motivates them, and I think the work ethic is there. Once they see the schedule and know that we are playing those quality teams, it pretty much, helps us out as far as recruiting wise, and then getting them ready to play.
Michael,
Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing well.
All right. Obviously, we know what some of the challenges that everybody's had to deal with COVID, and you just got to talking about your scheduling. Normally, teams in your part of the country tend to take their southern trip during this time of the year. How do you think that's going to affect you as you try to prepare for this particular upcoming season?
Yeah, I think it will affect us a lot, just because this year we try to get up south early in the year just to get everybody acclimated and you kind of get your feet wet. And this year we just gonna have to hit the field running. So it's probably gonna be some tough times early, but as we get our games in, I think we'll be in good shape.
All right, go ahead, Michael.
Coach, as far as scheduling goes, will you guys be playing more home games versus away games this season? Is the administration, are they reluctant to sending you on the road, or are they feeling more comfortable with you playing at home for COVID?
Yes, we definitely be playing more home games. And this year is no overnight travel, so we travel to away games. It's just that one day, and you have to return back to campus. So it's definitely going to be tough, but we're going to have a abundance of home games and go from there.
Are you getting those top recruits that are coming in that would normally have gone to a Division I program? Are they knocking on your door? Are they making the decisions? Because you over the years that I've covered HBCU baseball, Virginia State has always had a good recruiting process. And do you see a spike in recruiting that's going to help take the program to that next level?
Yes, we're still getting a lot of interest. It's a rich baseball area, so we kind of lean on some junior college coaches, high school coaches to build those relationships and get those quality guys in. Even if we don't get that guy the first time, if you don't like this program, they go to a Division I school. They may come back. They may even graduate and have another year left and would always come back to the program. So we just try to build relationships with each guy, whether they are one of the top guys in the area or just a mid-level guy.
Michael, this is Roy Evans. I actually have a question for Coach, kind of following up on that particular question. And I'm not sure if it's the same in this, but I wanted to find out, does the transfer portal impact you all in baseball as it does in football, or is that just something that's in that sport?
Now, it's starting to affect us a little bit. There's a lot of transfers out there, and most of the time now, kids are looking just to play baseball. They want to come in and play. So, we definitely are looking into that, and they'll look into our program and wanted to, pretty much come in and work out for us or do what it takes. And so we definitely look in the transfer portal for them and vice versa.
And your administration is very supportive of the program.
Yes, that's the main thing. I think that's why we're here, just because the administration does back the program, and it's very helpful. It makes a difference. We just want to make sure if we can sell the school itself, because once we get the kids on campus, it's a beautiful campus. They love to come they love to come on campus and see the atmosphere. That definitely helps. Kind of stress academics, make sure they're going to graduate and do what they have to do. And once we do that, we just give them a good baseball experience, make sure we have a quality schedule, play at some nice venues, and, play a certain number of games. And most of that, pretty helps us a lot as far as being successful.
Well, Coach, I appreciate talking to you as always. Keep up the good work. You keep putting the product on the field, and Black College Nines will keep reporting it.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that.
God bless you.
Once again, our number 3 ranked team from the Black College Nines small division top 10 is Mr. Coach Merrill Morgan from Virginia State University. Thank you, Coach. Have a great day. As we prepare for our next coach.
Thank you as well.
Our next coach coming in, Coach Rob Henry from the number 2 ranked Kentucky State Thoroughbreds. Coach, hello.
Hey, how are you? Good afternoon.
Hey, Coach. Everyone here on the network is doing good. Kentucky State is our number 2 team, the Thoroughbreds. The program is located in Frankfort, Kentucky. Now, Coach, when you took over the program, you took over a program that was a losing program. They were fielding a program because they were a part of the NCAA, but nobody really cared about baseball in Frankfort.
Correct.
And you came in and you made the statement that I'm going to turn this program around. And you told the administration, give you a little time and you could do it. Since then, you've had the last few years, you've had some breakout seasons, which includes you were ranked during our first poll of 2020 as the number 1 team until you went on a 4-game losing streak, and then things just went a little bit south for you.
Right.
But every year that we've had conversations, every year I'm seeing an improvement. I'm seeing you're getting top recruits. I'm seeing you're getting guys that are throwing in the 90s. If they're not throwing in the 90s, because of the system you employ, your guys are they're not just becoming better. As an example, your pitchers, if they're coming in at 89, you're doing something as to where they're getting 90, 91, 92. What's going on, Coach?
Well, first off, I appreciate all the accolades and the notice for what we've done. The biggest thing I think, when I came in, you mentioned the state of our program when I arrived, was just turning around the culture, just changing the mindset of, we're going to get whoever wants to be here, and maybe not put a great investment in it as far as time goes. Obviously money, scholarships, things like that are important, but there's a lot of things you can do to circumvent a lack of support when it comes to the financial side. There's time that can be put in. There's some experience that can be put in. And that's what we've done, I think, a pretty good job with. And we've started to see the product on the field turn around and reflect that. We've had some great guys come through, and we've had a couple of 90 arms. We've had a couple of guys who developed into that and blossomed into borderline next level players. But for me, the strength of our team is our team. We play. We try to play winning baseball. We try to understand how to have a Swiss Army knife type of offense. We can hit for power, we can steal bases, we can create runs, we can play small ball when we need to. So, we try not to be beholden to one style of play. And it's the same thing for our pitchers on the mound. We give our pitchers a lot of freedom to develop their own routine. They sit down with my pitching coach, Matt Adel, at the start of the year, and they develop their own routine. They know when they need to long toss. They know how much they need to run. They know what type of running they need to do. They know how many bullpens they need to throw during the week to prepare. So, our guys, it's their career. I cannot get into their body and feel what they feel and then think what they think. All I can do is try to talk with them and help them understand where they're coming from. And then we try to give them a lot of freedom to be, advocates for their own career and control their own career and help them develop. And I'll be honest with you, I've done a lot of learning in my 9 years. I've made a lot of mistakes. If there's any mistakes the head coach could make, I've made a lot of them, but I've tried to learn from them, and hopefully my players have benefited from that.
Well, in those 9 years, last year, you were chosen HBCU Baseball Coach of the Year for turning that program around, and you were a few votes away from being the number one ranked team, the champions. But I remember the conversation, and I had a conversation with you, and you said that life had changed for yourself. You said you were going out to restaurants and eating, and everybody was like, "There's Rob Henry. Who is that?" That is the Coach of the Year. Remember that conversation?
A little bit, yeah, I do. It took me 7 or 8 years to become an overnight sensation. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of working in anonymity, working behind the scenes, and really building the foundation of what we wanted to do. It was really hard to make connections with high school coaches in the area and convince them to trust us with their players. They had to see the proof of what we were doing and it would work and that guys could have a great experience. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you a great story. I don't know if you remember Joe Crisp or not, but he graduated in 2018, led the country in complete games and hit batters, by the way, because he liked to pitch inside. But, Joe threw 4 straight days in the conference tournament in 2018, almost single-handedly took us to the championship game, threw 14 innings over 4 days, came back in 2019, had a no-hitter, and he is still playing. In fact, he's getting ready. I think this summer he's going to play in the Pecos League. So he's playing semi-professional baseball. And this is a kid who came to me. He was 77, 78. By the time he left, he was probably 86, 88 with just a bulldog mentality on the mound. And it's guys like that who took a chance on the vision of what we wanted to be and what we wanted to do, who have built, this program. And now I get calls left and right from coaches saying, "Hey, I've got a guy that I think can fit, in your culture, your program." And, like I said, it's been 7, 8, 9 years of building this to a point where, the program is on a really solid, stable footing now.
Well, you're getting what it seems to be. There's one particular JUCO school. I think it's Cleveland Community College.
That's been one of them that's been good to us. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to ask you, and how is that so?
A lot of times what happens is our guys become our best recruiters. they'll come in and we may get one guy from that area that first year. He has a great experience and he says, "Hey, coach, and I got a teammate of mine who's looking for a school. I really think you need to talk to him or really need to look at this guy." And a lot of times that's how it happens. So, it's not necessarily by design. A lot of times it's just by circumstance. So for a while there, we had a run of several really good players from Chattanooga. Brian Wilson, great catcher for us. Jay Butler, great pitcher for us. Jordan Ransom from Ringgold, Georgia. Some of those guys in that area kind of fed off of each other. They knew each other. They played in the same, junior college program or played on the same travel teams. And that word of mouth has been as important for us as anything that we've done.
Good afternoon, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looking back, Kentucky State baseball. Now, you guys had a run in 2018 where you got to the conference championship.
Yes.
But pretty much the Western division of the SIAC was dominated by Steelman, who's no longer a member of the SIAC, and
Right.
Miles over the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to take for Kentucky State to finally break through that hurdle and not only get there this year, but become that powerhouse that those two schools have been for the last decade?
That's a great question. And I think there's many answers to it. To me, the big one has been changing the mindset. When I first got there, we were the underdog, and that's fine to a point, but I don't want to be the underdog because the underdog is expected to lose. I don't want to expect to lose. I want this program to expect to win. I want the players to work like that and expect to win and have that same mindset. We talk a lot about being a special program and doing special things. And Coach Crawford did a great job at Stillman. I think one year he was within a game of going to the World Series. Coach Roberts has done a great job there at Miles. Coach Sims down at Spring Hill. Those guys. Coach Hollins at Tuskegee, Coach Barber at Lane has a really good thing going. Coach Newman is picking things up at Lemoyne-Owen. It's a tough division. And then you look at the East, with some guys like, Coach Hardy down at Savannah State and Scott over at Albany and Selwyn, who's been winning for years down at Benedict. Casey's got things going at Clark Atlanta. It's getting to be a much better conference. So for us, a lot of it has to come down to our mindset, getting the right kind of players who can grow and develop for 4 years and have that expectation that we want to win, not going in and be unexpected, but we want to go in and expect to win like those other programs do. And that's part of what we're building on, which is why I think we had a really good start to last year because we graduated a ton of talent off that 2019 team. And I was very pleasantly surprised by our start last year. Because we came out of the gate and we played really well with some guys who were new to the program or new to playing a lot. And I think that's going to take us a long way is just changing that mentality, continue to build on that. It's a great question.
All right, Coach. Also, normally during this time of the year, most people are on that southern non-conference, those road trips trying to get down into Florida or Texas or the deep south to get those games in that you can't get in because of the weather in your part of the country. Right. So with travel limitations pretty much for everybody due to COVID, how do you think that's going to affect you as you prepare to get in as many games as you can this season? Because we all know what we're going to have to deal with.
Right. For me, I'm blessed because I have almost my entire team coming back. So we've got some guys who are really mature, really my entire lineup is the same as last year. So I think that's going to really help us hit the ground running.